to today. The day where you no longer have to see the world for what it is, but what it could be. The day where you can forget about inheriting someone else's world and make yours instead. Today is that day. To rip up the blueprint, make it what you want. Turn walls to art. Make every screen tell a story. Leave every rule in the rear view. Because with Firefly, the world is what you make it.
Get ready to rise with more shine. Introducing the all-new Sealy Posturepedic Collection, now at Ashley. Featuring precision-fit coils arranged right where you need them for targeted support, night after night. Sealy at Ashley. Wake up to what's next.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Check, 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 mic check. Hello, hello, hello. Why do I gotta have my mic so close to my mouth to hear myself?
Getting inside isn't going to be easy.
It's gotta have a barricade or something. Oh, how do we get it to a ground? Even the ramp. Where's the ramp? The ramp won't. I don't have one either.
We have the fire out. Garage doors part.
Our actions that day gave that man a second chance at life. That means a lot to us. It's the reason why we did what we did that day. That's the reason why we do our job.
A routine traffic stop
Something in my head was like, something's not right.
rapidly spins out of control. An officer in a race against time to save a woman's life.
Hold on, baby! Hold on! The car could have easily blown up. I had no idea how much time I had. I had to let her know that I'm here. I got you.
And a man on the run shoots it out in the streets.
When my gun runs empty, all of a sudden I'm a sitting duck in the middle of the street.
In Colorado, just south of Denver, in the Rocky Mountain foothills, is Douglas County. Today is the last day of Deputy Gage Walpole's 14-week training program.
203 out of traffic, 85 in Delta.
I just technically completed my training, which is a big accomplishment because training on patrol is very tough. You know, a lot of people fail. It was like I finally reached my goal. I'm going to be a police officer. I'm on my own now.
Deputy Walpole, along with his supervisor, Deputy Larry Arguello, are at the end of their shift.
My partner was driving the vehicle. We had a long day, but actually started work at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go back to the main office.
Be on 85, just north of Delta Way.
I see a pickup truck, and it's on the other side of the highway, and it's coming out of a driveway. This truck just darts out in the traffic.
I had to slam on my brakes, causing the patrol car to go into the ABS. And we kind of wiggled back and forth, trying to slow down. I was kind of shocked at first. It's like, don't do something illegal in front of a cop car, because you know you're gonna get pulled over. Larry just looks over to me and just gives me the...
My partner activates his lights, and the truck immediately pulls over. Turn to my partner, being that he's in training still. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do here? What are your thoughts?
Walpole switches on his body cam.
I've made about 100 to 150 traffic stops at this point, so I treated it no different than any other traffic stop. I approached the passenger side of the vehicle, so that way I can see all the occupants and not give too much of my body in a target range.
Deputy Walpole, Douglas County Sheriff's Office.
But I was standing on my tippy toes, so that way I could see the most that I could in the vehicle. Unfortunately, I couldn't see too much. I could see 4 occupants.
Okay, just 1 second. So the reason I pulled you over today is when you come into an intersection, you have to make sure you can safely clear it into whatever lane you're going to. Okay? Do you have your registration and insurance as well?
You have to clear the driver to make sure that they've got a valid driver's license or they don't have any warrants. Dispatch comes back with the driver had a protection order.
The protection order is aimed at keeping her away from the victim.
She is restrained from contact with a protected party. No cell phone calls, no texts, just no contact at all.
The protected party covered by the order is described as a gray-haired male in his late 40s or early 50s.
The right rear passenger of the vehicle could possibly be that male. We don't get a picture with the protection order. All we have are descriptors: height, weight, hair, eye color, and an age.
We gotta find out who it is. Who's the male in there? The male in the back seat is? In the cab? I don't know. Her protected party name.
So the guy in the back seat, if that's him, he's the protector.
Yeah, from her.
If it turns out that the protective order prevents the driver from being anywhere near the man in her own vehicle, she's breaking the law, and he might be at risk.
Every house gets 24/7 cross-branded cleans on. Could I get a picture? Yeah, it's not like you run into
This is no longer a traffic stop. Now this is a criminal investigation.
Get more than just savings. Get more with
I was actually excited. Get to do something more than just a traffic stop.
Here's this back for you.
So my plan was to ask everybody in the vehicle their name and date of birth.
And who's the front passenger? It's what? What's your name? Yours? Yep. Jared? Jerry? Or what's your last name? Jones? What about your date of birth?
The name he gives does not match the one in the protective order.
I asked him to give me his name and date of birth, and he stumbled on the year. And to me, that is a big clue that someone's lying to me.
Okay, do you have your driver's license? What's that? Okay. All right.
The passenger said he didn't have a driver's license. He had left it at one of the local bars the night before, and that's where they were heading to go get his ID. And so I keyed into that. I was like, okay, cool. Like, can I get the spelling of your name again?
Can you spell your first name for me? You, sir. Last name? Jones. Date of birth? Okay. What's that? Yeah. So what's your first name? Okay. So what about? So it's Christopher. Christopher Jerry? Why would you lie about your name? Why would you tell me Jerry Jones first?
During the conversation, a detective arrives. He stands by in case the deputies need assistance.
I asked, well, what name did he give you? And he was like, Jerry Jones. Okay, well, I guess it's a common name. Go ahead and run it.
I went back to my patrol vehicle with a couple different names. So that was another clue that he was giving me false information.
The second name the man gives Walpole is also fake.
103 out of my copy. Does anybody on swing 7?
Something was going on, whether he was trying to protect the driver for going to jail because he is the protected party, or he's trying to hide something.
The detective, who now works undercover, offers to help.
He said, oh, don't worry, I'll get you a name, you know, being all cocky.
So I see him writing down some information. And it was a totally different name from what he gave us the first time.
Paul Smith.
We run the name that we got from the detective on the slip of paper, and it comes back to a wanted person out of Florida for a non-extraditable petty offense, but the date of birth was off. The date of birth on the warrant was for somebody that was approximately the age of like 21 to 23, which was clearly not the rear passenger. He had gray hair and was definitely in his late 40s, 50s.
So I'm like thinking in my head, okay, now he's giving us false identifying information, which is a crime.
He's already obstructing our investigation, you know, substantially. He's given us all these fake names and taking up too much time during our investigation. I had enough to arrest him on that. And then once we arrest him, take him down to the jail, fingerprint him.
Deputy Arguello provides backup.
As I approach the vehicle, I have my hands on my gun.
Sir, have you step out of the vehicle?
And he says, okay.
At that point, I could see the subject. He was looking back as if he was scanning the area.
He said, I've got a cane, and he lifts up a cane with a silver handle. And something in my head was like, something's not right. So I took a step back to give a little bit more of a gap because I thought he might come out and try and hit me with the cane.
As the door opens up, the subject, he has a pistol in his hand, and it's pointing right at my partner.
In Douglas County, Colorado, a routine traffic stop has taken a dangerous turn.
It was pointed directly at my stomach. The barrel seemed to be about the size of a basketball. I was so scared and my mind was racing.
drawing and moving to a point of cover behind the pickup truck. And as I was drawing my gun, I was hearing shots being fired. And I could see my partner falling down. So in my mind, I was like, oh gosh, my partner just got shot. It was a horrible feeling. It was horrible.
I didn't feel anything. I couldn't hear anything. I didn't hear a single shot. There was no thinking about it. It was like taking a breath when you needed to breathe, or blinking. I was just focused on the threat. I had fired off 2 rounds, and then next thing I saw was the sky and my feet. As soon as I stopped firing, I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get up. I thought I'd been shot in my hip. I rolled over and with one hand pushed up, and I stood up.
When he popped back up, I was just like, yes, you know, he's hit, but he's okay.
With the suspect down and Deputy Walpole back on his feet, deputies turn to the rest of the people in the truck.
Driver's truck, get the vehicle!
We're like, okay, now we got to cover the truck.
We still have 3 unknown threats inside the truck. And as I'm getting up, moving to cover, the driver of the vehicle starts the truck.
Stop the vehicle!
The detective covers the man on the ground, but the 2 deputies are still outnumbered.
103 Adam. Car's occupied 3 times. Suspect is down. Need medical.
Is there any weapons in this car? Turn the car off.
Can I take my foot?
Yes.
Are any of you injured?
They were screaming and in shock of what happened. We were waiting for other officers to get there. They started to calm down a little bit as we were calming down.
It's easy to add raw nutrition to your pet's
Okay,
food.
all right.
It's raw food that's gently freeze-dried to lock in the nutrients and flavor without needing refrigeration. So you get all the benefits of raw. So stop by PetSmart with your dog to
Just
find
minutes
Stella
after
and Chewy's
that,
recipes.
you know, there's just officers and detectives just coming from everywhere for assistance. It was just a sense of relief just to know that we had everybody there to help us out with the situation.
Backup steps in to detain the passengers. And with the scene now secure, Deputy Arguello and Deputy Walpole double-check each other for injuries.
You don't feel anything?
No, I don't feel anything.
Shot at you.
You don't feel sometimes getting stabbed or shot or anything like that with the adrenaline.
You good?
If you got adrenaline flowing through your body, you know, you're not going to feel it until everything calms down, if you will.
You went down to the ground.
Yeah.
Deputy Walpole has no sign of injury.
I was surprised. I thought I'd been shot. At that point, I fired off 2 rounds, both striking him in the chest and 1 in the hand. He was on the ground at that point, and he was trying to get up, and I fired until the threat stopped.
The would-be shooter is dead. The investigation would show that with a round in the gun's chamber, he was ready to fire.
My understanding is he didn't get a shot off. I personally think when he got out of that pickup truck, he did not know that I was back there. So as soon as he got out and he saw me, that kind of gave us the split second to react a little bit quicker than him.
I think if anybody comes at a police officer with a deadly weapon, whether it be a gun, a knife, a pipe, you're going to have deadly force back at you.
The deceased man is Paul Askins. He is not the man named on the protection order. But deputies discovered that Askins had 2 active warrants, one for second-degree burglary and one for a failure to appear in court.
There's like a 60% chance that not a single person in here will have to use their firearm in their career. And last day of training, here I am.
The driver of the vehicle is not in breach of her protection order. Neither she nor the other passengers are charged with any crime.
I was almost dead. Even today, it's one of those things that's kind of like something that'll never go away. You know, like a bad car accident or just one of those things in your life that really scared you.
"40 miles outside of Atlanta, Georgia, is the city of Auburn. This sleepy southern town is home to fewer than 10,000 people. 26-year-old Breon Rucker is working the night shift for Auburn PD.
I want to become a police officer to follow my father's footsteps. I remember my father in uniform, shiny badge, everything was shiny. He was neat. I really looked up to that. He is and was my role model. The reason I prefer night shift, to me, you get less calls, but the calls you get are more intense. Me starting out being a young officer, I love to go. I love to get up and go. So nights are very intense to me. You really never know what you're gonna get.
A few miles away, Sergeant Ira Underwood is also out on patrol.
What I do as a supervisor here with the City of Auburn, I observe the calls, and usually my input is very little unless I see there's need.
Bear County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Yes. I'm on County Line Auburn Road. I just split my car. I can't get out.
Officer Rucker picks up a call from dispatch.
I have a caller on the line. She's going to be in the area, County Line, Auburn Road. You don't know if she's injured or not.
The call was not in my jurisdiction. However, I responded because I can literally walk from my jurisdiction to the scene.
As Officer Rucker heads toward the County Line Road, dispatch keeps the caller on the phone.
Oh my God! Oh God! I think my car's on fire! Oh God! I think my car's on fire! I see some flashing in the front.
You what?
I see some flashing in the front. Unit, the caller now advises that the vehicle is on fire.
On my way to the call, approximately 2 miles, I was told that the car is on fire and possibly that there's a female or a passenger trapped in the vehicle.
The officers are just minutes away from the crash site, and Barrow County firefighter Lieutenant Jeremy Thayer and his crew are right behind.
If calls come out in the middle of the night and we are sleeping, being that we're on 24-hour shifts, we have 2 minutes to be able to get to the truck and go en route to the call.
How many people are in the car? Do you have kids in the car? Are they okay? Are they hurt? As I top one part of the hill, I see a bright glow in the background. There's some trees. I'm thinking it's headlights. As I get closer, I realize it's the fire that I was looking at.
She was trying to get out.
What I felt when I first saw her was despair. I really had to get her out. The look on her face broke my heart. I felt like she thought it was the end, and I want to make sure that it was not the end for her.
In Georgia, an Auburn police officer faces a life and death situation with a woman trapped inside a burning car.
With me not having any training in fire, it was very realistic that the car could have easily blown up, easily. I had no idea how much time I had.
Sergeant Underwood hears Officer Rucker's call for backup.
Immediately at that point, I'm like, oh wow, oh my gosh, okay, let me get there.
Hold on! The fire was next to my face and it was burning. To be honest with you, I really thought I was going to have some burns. I don't remember smoke, but you ever bob for apples? Imagine bobbing for apples in grease. That's what it felt like. I guess my adrenaline was so high that I didn't even feel the pain. I just knew I had to get her out of the vehicle. I had to let her know that I'm here. I got you.
Sergeant Underwood and Lieutenant Thayer are moments away from the scene.
You just thinking, you got all this stuff going through your mind, but at the same time, you're thinking about what you need to do when you get there. And hearing my officer on the radio talking, I knew it wasn't good.
Dispatch updated us and said the vehicle is on fire and there is a pedestrian trapped inside. So, of course, when that happens, the wheels start turning, you're gearing up for the worst. So smoke inhalation in a vehicle fire is extremely dangerous, especially if somebody's trapped inside an unvented compartment. In a matter of minutes, the patient could die.
With the truck lying on its side, the only way to reach the trapped victim is through the windshield.
Hold on, baby, I got you. Hold on. You never realize how hard a windshield is until you're forced to try to break through it. I was going to get her out of that car, no matter what. If I had to cut my hands off to get her out, she was getting out of the car.
Hey! I didn't get out.
Sergeant Underwood arrives.
She's still in the car. I got it.
When Sergeant Underwood showed up, I felt like I wasn't going to do this by myself. He showed up, went straight to work.
We knew we only had seconds to get into this vehicle. My uniform that I wear for patrol duty does not protect us against fire at all.
As the officers fight to smash the windshield, Lieutenant Thayer's fire crew arrives.
Go around and show fire to get over here.
All I heard was an explosion. First thought that came to my mind, my sergeant and the lady caught an explosion. I need to go back and help. To this day, I still don't know what the explosion was. I'm assuming her tire blew because the vehicle's still intact.
And you can hear, all of a sudden you heard this whistling sound like, and like a torch of fire, that light. That flash, that sudden light.
Sergeant Underwood pulls the victim from the truck, and Officer Rucker carries her to safety.
Come on, let's go. We gotta keep moving, baby.
I saw both of them on the ground. Sergeant Underwood trying to pick her up and keep moving. That's when I told her, look, we gotta keep going. Let's keep going. You're almost there. And we got her to safety.
You okay, bro?
I felt relieved that
Downy gives your
she's
sheets
okay.
a delicate,
She's
fresh
good.
scent that
She's
breathes
not
life
cut.
into
She may have
your
little
wardrobe.
cuts from coming from the windshield, but nothing life-threatening.
You okay? It's okay.
Emotionally, the lady was very distraught. She was understandably distraught, crying, sobbing, still folded up. That's why I tried to comfort her the best way I could, just by holding her and let her know that, hey, you're okay, you're good, you're alive, you're good.
Windshields are extremely hard to break. They are designed that way. These guys, they did a great job. I hope that if I'm ever in a vehicle that's on fire, that they're the two that show up to help me.
Going home to my family, they've already knew. I called my father just in case he sees the news and they exaggerate it. I told him what happened. He's a deputy in another county, so he understood where I was coming from. My father, I never doubt he can do that type of stuff with eyes closed. Me, I never thought I could live up to his standards. By me doing that, I felt like I'm almost there.
In Louisiana, 81 miles from New Orleans, is the state capital.
What's up, Cool
Baton
Jody? How you
Rouge.
doing? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Another one closer.
Corporal Theodore
Through the goal.
Smith and Corporal Sean Garrick of the Baton Rouge PD
I'm doing good.
are finishing
Thinking
up
about
their
playing
night
some Night
shifts
Rain
on the
for a
same
minute.
beat.
So the girlfriend wakes up.
Each night is something new. Might find a stolen car, catch a burglar or robber, but each night
What
is
do you
different.
think? How you doing?
We were pretty close to
Should I
being
play?
relieved from the morning shift. But you have to stay vigilant on this job. You never know what's going to happen.
With
What
20
should be the
minutes
game
left on
for
the
the
shift,
morning?
dispatch receives a call
I'll have to let
reporting a disturbance.
Doggo bath here in a little bit.
Yes. So this is boy come along here looking for my daughter. See, I'm busting my damn windows out of my car. My daughter has, what you call it on him?
What, like a warrant?
Should I play some Night Rain?
How long ago did you do this?
Just now.
Routine call, damage to property. We take them all the time. Maybe 15-minute investigation, and I'm on the way home.
We were good for backing up each other, being proactive, and knowing when we needed each other. There's calls like that call where a crime had already been committed that it's like, all right, well, you can handle that on your own.
Corporal Smith responds to the call and turns on his body cam.
It was around 5:50 when I arrived, and that's when the complainant flags me down.
Just busted up the windows and flattened the tires. He just turned that corner over there in a gray dog. Gray dog?
I go straight down Harry to Lobdell, and I see the car turning north onto Lobdell from Bon Marché, and it's a gray Dodge. I figured that's got to be the vehicle. There's no traffic. It's the only gray Dodge in the area. So I'm gonna stop this vehicle and get his side of the story.
1691. Southbound on airline from Tom. Yankee Victor Tango 250. Yankee Victor Tango 250. It's gonna be involved in that 59.
I advised dispatch that I'm gonna be out with this vehicle. He's a suspect vehicle in my damage to property, and I'm gonna be stopping him.
He hadn't cleared from the call yet, and he calls out a traffic stop, which heightens your awareness. Every call you go on, you're thinking about the what ifs and what can be, how can this turn out. I was definitely turning volume up higher and more aware of the situation.
Corporal Smith is now right behind the suspect.
I turned my lights on. At first it looked like he was about to pull over, but then he continues going southbound.
Alright. Continue southbound on airline. Approaching Florida.
As soon as he said, all right, that's when I turned around and drove as fast as I can to get to where he was.
Going westbound on Florida.
Any number of things could have been going through his mind.
Still westbound, just to the right of Woodland.
The way that he was driving posed a great risk to a lot of people. He's not worried about anything except getting away from me.
The suspect races toward another red light at speeds approaching 100 miles per hour.
Still westbound, just to the right at Lobdell.
He's coming up to the light at Wooddale, and there's a truck coming through the intersection. And I'm looking like he's about to get smoked.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a suspect is leading police on a high-speed chase.
Yeah, westbound, just to the right. That's loud there.
He runs several red lights, nearly misses the truck. Then he turns on Ardenwood. He continues at a high rate of speed, just goes into oncoming traffic.
Coming up on Ardenwood. Going northbound on Ardenwood.
Meantime, Corporal Garrick is driving parallel to the pursuit, a few streets over.
When you're trying to get involved to assist, you try to triangulate where they're going to end up so that you can assist. As long as I stayed somewhat close, I knew I had time to get over to join.
As Corporal Garrick races down the street, he catches the attention of off-duty Baton Rouge officer Corporal Jesse Barcelona.
I'm sitting at a red light and I see a unit pass by me with their lights on. I swapped my radio to their frequency, and that's when I heard the pursuit going on.
Corporal Barcelona joins the chase. As Corporal Smith follows the suspect, he turns onto a residential street.
Just cross Greenwood Springs, one on the Fairfield. Westbound on Fairfield.
What do you like to play, Jody?
I've been in
Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
car chases.
I'm a little distracted.
And I know from his actions that he's trying to find somewhere where he can exit his vehicle and trying to get away from him.
Alright, southbound on Palm. Eastbound taxi. Northbound Focus.
Corporal Garrick is just 3 blocks west of the chase. Corporal Barcelona has also made it to the neighborhood and is a block north of the suspect's location.
I could hear Teddy saying that he was circling the area and looked like he was fixing to bail out. I was just trying to get ahead of it in case the subject bailed out and started running my direction.
Alright, he's blocking, he's got the bail. Westbound on Fairfield.
You always want to be the first out of the vehicle because you don't know what their intent is, whether they're going to run, whether they're going to try to fight you. You just never know, so you have to be prepared for everything.
The suspect pulls over and Corporal Smith pulls in behind him.
I'm exiting my vehicle and something hit me, something knocked me to the ground, but I didn't realize what it was until I saw that muzzle flash from his rifle. He's shooting at me, and the only thing I can do is return fire. That's when my gun runs empty. All of a sudden, I'm a sitting duck in the middle of the street, laying on the ground with no cover. I have to get somewhere where I'm not just a target. I get up and run as fast as I can to the closest vehicle I can find to get cover.
20 seconds earlier, Corporal Garrick pulls up to the scene.
As I'm coming down Fairfields, I see the suspect vehicle turn into the front yard of a residence.
She gets thirsty. So when I shake, it's the new Venus moisturizer. It's got 5 plates. That lock in moisture. Feel the power of smooth.
I'm stopping the vehicle, and before I get it to a full stop, the suspect jumps out of his vehicle with a rifle. And complete mindset changes at that point. I don't even see Teddy, but I know he's shooting at him. It was distinguishable that he had an AR-15, at which point he turns his weapon on me, and pretty much all I had time to do was duck.
One of the bullets hits Corporal Garrick's cruiser's dash cam, taking it out of action.
I'm looking up at the windshield being hit and just waiting for a break. And then I just felt a large stinging and burning sensation on my head. I remember getting mad just because, you know, it's like, I'm not going out like this. This has got to be a fair fight.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a gunman has officers pinned down.
This is what I've been training for. How do I survive this fight? I'm trying to get the magazine out of my gun, get another magazine in. Reloading your weapon is second nature to you, but at that point it just felt like forever.
Both officers are stuck in cover, waiting for a break in the gunfire.
Having training in the Marines prior, like, you know, magazine capacities of AR-15. So I'm trying to figure out how many rounds he has left. He shot 4 or 5 at Teddy. He's got about 10 on me, so he still has a few more rounds left. This is about to be a fair fight.
On hearing the firing stop, Corporal Garrett gets out of the vehicle.
By the time I was able to get out and return fire, he was not looking at me or pointing his weapon. I deployed my weapon until I saw the threat was neutralized. It was towards the end of the magazine that I saw him actually go down.
I get my gun back up and running, and I'm preparing to get back in the fight. I see Sean running towards me. I'm guessing he's out too, and I don't know where the suspect is.
Corporal Barcelona pulls up at the scene alongside another Baton Rouge officer.
First thing we did was trying to find out where the threat was coming from, where do I need to look.
At this point, I start reassessing, trying to locate, is he down, is he still fighting?
The suspect was already on the ground when we arrived on the scene. First thing we wanted to do was secure him so that way he was no longer a threat. I didn't want him to rearm himself.
As Corporal Barcelona secures the suspect, Corporal Smith goes back to his vehicle.
That's when I start assessing myself to see the extent of my injury.
I'm hit! EMS code 3. An exact location.
Ain't no telling. I tell you what. Ah, shit. Oh, I'm getting scared. Fuck it, let's do it. He's actually the right character. And so am I.
convinced the time is right.